want to welcome everyone to a very special episode of the Happy Fun Time End of the World show. I have a special guest with me today. We're going to ask him some questions about Hollywood and the Illuminati. And he will be playing the role of Jason Cripps in a new movie out soon. So you can also go to True Story Live on YouTube. I put the link in the chat. I'll put that back in there for a minute. That's on YouTube to watch him as he crafts that character in real time. So it's a fascinating process to watch an actor at work like that. So please remember, this interview is purely for entertainment purposes only. Welcome to the Nut House. And without further ado, Jack Woodman, actor, adventurer, entrepreneur, patron of the culinary arts, international man of mystery, and soon to be an animated cartoon character, to my understanding. Welcome to the show, and thank you for being here.
Wow, thanks a lot. I appreciate that. I like that Hawaii stuff you have at the beginning. I got me in the mood. I need to go back to Hawaii again. That was good. Music.
Oh, interesting. Have you ever done any acting roles in Hawaii?
No, but it's something I've always wanted to go. My wife and I went quite a few years back for vacation. Loved Honolulu and went to some of the islands. It was pretty great stuff.
Yeah, I love Hawaii. I can't, of all the places I could want to be in the world, that has to be really at the top of the list.
Yeah, it's such a relaxing place. Even the music. That's what I was saying. Listen to the music at the promo for the beginning of your show. I'm just real relaxed now. So that's good.
Awesome. Thanks, Jack. And so you guys went there for to spend special time with you and your wife. While you're there, did you have any problems with like paparazzi or people trying to get your autograph or any of that sort of thing?
Oh, I don't consider that a problem. I wouldn't be where I am without all the people that have watched all the shows and movies I've been in. I actually appreciate it when someone comes up. I'm happy to sign autographs, happy to take a picture. It happens all the time, so I've got no issue doing that whatsoever.
Oh, that's refreshing. That's good to know, Jack. Appreciate that. Again, I'm calling you Jack Woodman because we're trying to keep your identity secret here.
Yeah, I appreciate that because some of the things, you sent me kind of a list of some of the questions you might ask, and it's very important in talking about some of these topics that we do keep it secret on the down low, as they say.
Yeah, definitely. So let's start out then. Can you tell us a bit about some of your acting roles without giving too much away?
Sure. One of the things that people ask me about the most, I played a husband of a very mouthy, boisterous woman who used to be a comedian. And so I was on that show. So people don't even call me by my real name. They come up and call me by my character name.
Oh, gotcha. That would be kind of was that annoying to you, or how do you feel about that?
No, again, I wouldn't be where I am without the support and the fans out there that keep coming and watching the stuff that I'm in. It's just such an honor.
That's awesome. Really appreciate that, Jack. And so since we brought up that comedian whose show you were on, she's actually brought up a lot of the things that we're going to talk about, like MK Ultra and the kind of things that go behind the scenes in Hollywood. So what's your feeling about her? Is she like just a gatekeeper, or is she for real? What's your take on her, Jack?
I think she's mentally ill, first and foremost, but we get along fine. We got along for years, but as you know, they had me killed off on the show. And that's because we were arguing so much. She wanted to have control over everything.
Uh-huh.
And if she didn't have control, then of course heads rolled, so to speak. And so my head rolled during the end of the I forget what season it was, but we've been on the air for a while, and just found out I didn't have a job anymore.
How did they let you know? Was it like that Did they give you a text message, or was there like a singing telegram or something? I'm just kind of curious how that went.
That would have been hilarious if I'd gotten a singing telegram. No, I actually went to go show up for a rehearsal, and they wouldn't let me on the lot, believe it or not.
Oh, brutal. Wow. Yeah, I've heard some bad things about her as well.
Yeah. She gets herself into trouble now and then. You know, she goes off the scene for a while, and then she'll come back around, and she'll have the spotlight on her. And in fact, she tried to do the show again here recently, and it didn't go over too well.
So I'm taking it that there's zero chance for a reunion show then. Am I wrong?
Well, yeah, they killed my character, so I don't know how that would be.
Right? Yeah, because they could do like a time machine episode, right?
They could do like a flashback episode, right?
Uh-huh.
You know, like go back in time, and this is what it could have been. Of course, I'm older now, so it'd be hard to pull that off.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be. How about this? Maybe an altered universe, like Into the Spider-Verse or something.
The Spider-Verse. Are you a Marvel fan, Mike?
I do like Marvel. I have to. It's a guilty pleasure, if you will.
Yeah, me too. I go see all the Marvel movies.
Have you seen Into the Spider-Verse, Jack?
Yeah, I have actually.
What was your feeling about the quality of the acting in that film?
I thought it was fine. You know, my question is how many of these Spider-Man movies are they going to do?
No kidding, right? It's like there's so many of them out right now. I still personally, I agree that the ones with the guy from Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit guy.
Yeah, he's fantastic, actually.
Yeah, he's a great actor for sure. Well, since we're on the subject of acting, what do you have any tips for aspiring actors? Like, would you have any thoughts on, for example, method acting versus, any other methods, or how someone gets a toehold in Hollywood, and what they should look out for?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm not a method actor. You know, these are the guys that go and they immerse themselves in the role and they study everything, and like they show up for rehearsals and they're in character. And even when the cameras aren't rolling, you know, you go up to them, and if they're acting like a jerk, they act like a jerk to you off camera. I'm not that way at all. You just pretty much, you show me a script, I memorize my lines, you tell me where to stand, and I go do it. But, you know, I'm not talking bad about method acting. I'm just saying that that's not my particular style. But as far as tips for aspiring actors, if you don't want to do blood sacrifices and get into some of the real heavy stuff, I don't want to go too far ahead in the script, but I would just say to be careful.
Be careful for sure. Especially, I imagine whatever precautions an adult actor would need to take, that goes double for like a child actor, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. In fact, the show we were referring to, without saying the name, you know, those kids. Have you kept up with them in real life and seen some of the trouble they've gotten into?
Yeah, like for example, Macaulay Culkin. That guy looks like a mess. He looks like he's his MK Ultra program he's breaking down.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that happens a lot, especially with child actors who've been in the business for a while. You know, they get to be adults, and it gets difficult for them to deal with regular life. You know, when don't have a camera on them anymore.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I don't know from personal experience, but I can assume though. But okay, Jack. Again, be careful about what you reveal, because I don't want anyone to catch on too much to your exact identity within Hollywood. But
sure, thank you, and I appreciate that. I want to tell you how much I appreciate you setting it up in this way too.
Well, Jack Woodman, I appreciate you as well.
And I like the name Jack too. I always wish I had a really close friend named Jack. So to be using that name, I kind of like it.
You know what's funny about that name is, for the longest time I wondered what the origin is of Jack, and it actually comes from John. Did you know that?
I did not know that. Please.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly. It has something to do with like the UK. Is there some kind of it's an interesting, history of how John became Jack. Yeah, I don't want to get sidetracked too much, but I was kind of curious about that.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
Okay, so tell us a bit about your overall history, resume, maybe acting in college and what you learned from that, and your life working as an A-list actor in Hollywood.
Oh, sure. Well, I did do a little bit of acting in college, but I was a football player. I actually played football in high school, and well, I guess I can't disclose what school I went to. This is harder than I thought, but I played football, and when I went to college, I played football there for a little while, and then I had an injury and ended my college career. So I decided to become a professional actor, and I went to New York City in 1975. A little bit of money in my pocket, and I found an apartment in Hell's Kitchen near the theater district. And I tried to make money as a bartender and a waiter. I did eventually got some voiceover, did some commercials and things like that. And that's kind of how I got my start. And did a little bit of off-Broadway stuff. That was fun. I like doing stage work.
What's different? Why do you like? What's so special about like a live performance versus like
the audience? The audience, yeah, having the audience there and react in real time. It's one of the best things. When you do movies or TV shows, I mean, sometimes they do have a live audience, so you get some of that, But when you're on stage doing a play or the off-Broadway stuff that I did, you have an instant reaction. With TV, you never really get to sit in the living room with the people watching it and get to see their reactions to things. Same thing with movies. It's on a big screen and that people are coming to watch it, but you don't really get a chance to see their reactions. I have put on a disguise and gone to watch some of the movies I've been in, but it's not quite the same as being on stage.
Oh, interesting. What's your disguise consist of? Like a wig or something, or what do you do?
No, I just put a hat on and a trench coat. Not doing anything nefarious. Just and I don't have facial hair, so I do have a fake beard that I employ for the use of trying to disguise. And that, like I said, I don't mind people coming up to me, but sometimes, if I just want to be incognito, then I do have disguise. My wife helped me put it together, actually.
Oh, good. Well, I guess that way you're getting a more honest reaction from the audience, though, as opposed to say if they knew you're in there, it might be a distraction.
Completely, Mike. That's a great way to look at it, actually.
And getting back to football, I actually can see some parallels between football and acting, where we before we started the show, we were talking about how you have to. There's certain spots you have to be at on a certain place in the stage, right? And that's sort of like football, I guess, where you have a play and you're designed to be in a certain spot at the beginning of the play, and you're designed to react a different way according to whatever the audible or whatever is the play is on the football field. Is that
absolutely true? Yeah, in fact, there are two things that if you've ever done it, it'd be easier for you to be an actor. One is actually dancing or ballet or jazz or anything where you have steps, where you have a count to go by, because very much on stage you have a place to stand and you're supposed to they have choreographed moves. Funny thing is, it doesn't always end up like that, because when you're on stage, especially if an actor doesn't move where they're supposed to, then you as an actor then have to just kind of play along with what they're doing so it doesn't look awkward and lopsided. So.
Oh, interesting. So I guess that's a similarity that runs through, I guess, dancing, acting, which a lot of people would be unaware of that, by the way, as well as football, it's all choreographed, right?
Yeah, it's choreographed. Yeah, we rehearse it over and over and over again, at least on stage. And that's like that with movies and TV too. You do rehearse it, but it's generally a little bit different than on stage.
I can see that. Yeah, because there's I don't know firsthand, but my assumption would be there's a lot of things that happen. But I guess that's part of the excitement of it, though, I would imagine.
Never done any acting, Mike?
Not just on here. That's it. I would love to, though. I would love to do that. Yeah.
We'll try to get you in something.
Oh, really? Well, hey, I appreciate that, Jack. Thanks. Yeah. That'd be awesome. I'd love to do that.
Sure.
Okay, so maybe I could get a bit part or walk on, like, or something like that?
Oh, I'll give you more in the bit part. Well, like, how'd you like to, like play a police officer or something that has a few lines at least?
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Absolutely, I would love that. Thanks, Jack.
Yeah, sure.
Wow, you're a very generous person. I appreciate that.
Oh, well, thank you. That means a lot to me. I try to be. Look, this life is hard enough without you being a jerk to everyone. And I know some of my fellow actors. They seem to be irritated when people come up to them and ask for their autograph. I've never understood that, because without them, they wouldn't be in the position to begin with. To have an audience and people show up to watch your stuff. I mean, I think people need to take that into consideration.
Oh my gosh, I completely agree with that. But it's kind of a double-edged sword, I would guess, though, because I know you're very positive about the whole thing, but people can be very different. Let's just put it that way, where everyone would want a piece of you, and that must get. There's only so much Jack Woodman to give to everybody. So
there's a lot of Jack, though. There's a lot of Jack. I'm a big guy.
Right.
As I didn't start out in football, I was a big guy. I've always been a big guy. I've lost some weight now, and have managed to keep it off. Maybe you've seen that in some of my more recent movies. I've trimmed down. I lost about 80 pounds, in fact.
Oh, good for you, Jack. You live longer that way. That's awesome.
Yeah. I want to be around as long as I can.
Yeah, well, and we want you to be as around as long as possible, because of the joy that you bring everybody through the roles you play.
Oh, thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Acting is a unique craft, though, isn't it? And I guess I do have a little issue with the word craft as applied to acting, because of the connotations. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Well, sure. Like which craft? So if you put craft in quotations, there is sort of like a craft in acting. And even the tables that they set up with food for the actors, they call that craft services.
Interesting. I did not know that, Jack. Yeah. Some inside information there. So, talking about witchcraft, though, and acting, and just the religious, overtones of all that, doesn't acting has a long history that goes back to Greece, if not prior to that. Correct, Jack?
Yeah. The witchcraft, you mean?
Well, kind of. I mean, like, if you go, witchcraft to me is sort of related to paganism, right?
Sure.
So if you go back to, like, say, ancient Greece, where they put on these plays, they were designed like about Oedipus and all these other kind of Greek mythological tales. That it was sort of like a religious service back in the day.
Yes, I get your meaning. Yeah. They would have certain people on the stage that would the chorus. That's what they called it. The chorus would say things, to get in the minds of the audience, and also even the actors. They all wore masks back then, and sometimes it was political. And then, so whatever the message of the play was, they used the music when that was introduced, and the way that things were said, to hypnotize the audience in some ways. And that's not any different than what Hollywood does today.
Oh my God! Talk about the similarity too. Is back then, I think in ancient Greece, is all the actors were dudes, right? Even like the women roles.
They were all dudes,
right? Like his dudeness, right? They're all.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite movies, by the way. I caught your reference. I don't know if anyone else.
Right. Yeah, but I'm trying not to say it because I don't want to give away who you are.
You don't want to give that.
Right. So we'll leave his dudeness alone for right now. But yeah, but I'm aware that I knew you'd catch on. That's why I don't mind throwing these things out there. I don't mind throwing you a spitball, because I know that you're going to be able to relay the answer in a way that doesn't reveal who you are.
Yeah. But, if I still drank, I would be in the mood for a White Russian.
Right. That's hilarious. I get the reference. All right. So talking about that, like, so even Hollywood today, it's sort of the same thing where a lot of these female actresses are actually dudes. At least I think so. Any thoughts on that? Do you know more about that, or what can you tell me?
No, I don't. Yeah, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I think people they go too far with that, and they try to make every female actress in Hollywood to have been a dude, and that's just not the case.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's hard to tell now. I can't even watch a movie with an actress in it.
It is hard to tell, but the most frustrating thing is for me when you see a child actress or actor that's been around and been in movies for a long time, then they say, "Oh, they were always a dude," and they changed them. And no, but it is true. It is true in some cases, but I don't pay much attention to that. I just they give me a script, I go stand where they tell me to stand, and I do my job, and I go home to my wife.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess that's the way you have to look at it, right? But it's like I think all of us, in some way or another, regardless, sort of work for the beast system. Because let's say if you work for any corporation, regardless what it is, probably the cats on top are all connected. So it's really hard not to be part of the. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just being realistic about what people do for a living and who's really pulling the strings and whatnot.
Yeah, who is really pulling the strings, Mike?
Well, I think, in my personal opinion, I think Satan is up for this world, but yeah. I think that God is, in my personal opinion, Jack is in charge of everything. So it's all going to work out. Yeah. So ultimately, God is in charge, but He allows certain things to happen. It fits a grander plan.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so now let's talking about acting and theater in general being connected to paganism in the past, as well as more overtly evil, but similarly related aspects of today. What about the critics who say that acting or the theater, etc., is inherently evil? It can only serve evil ends. I know there was, for example, in the medieval times they had the morality plays. If I think about right. So, what are your takes on that? What is there as being a theater apologetic, if you will? What is there any redemptive factors that Christians or believers, Jack, which I haven't gotten into your beliefs yet, but in your mind, for someone of that outlook, how can they look at theater and acting and not see it as an inherently bad thing?
I think it's easy to do because people are acting doesn't necessarily mean they're at the higher echelon where some of the more evil stuff is even practiced. In fact, a guy that leaves Indiana, let's say, and goes to Hollywood to become an actor, and they do a couple commercials, that's real low level. They're not being approached for any of the Satan worship or any of the darker stuff that they do. So you wouldn't look at that person that, again, it's just doing a commercial or, like a walk-on role in a major motion picture and think that they're doing anything nefarious or anything like that.
But what about just in general, say a backyard play or what I do on this channel, just kind of amateur acting and drama and whatnot? Does that have a place serving the Lord?
Well, sure. I mean, the thing that people have to remember, in my opinion, is that God created everything, and Satan, or the evil one, whatever word you choose to use for him, all he can do is twist things. So he's not the creator of anything, and that includes music and acting and all the abilities that humans have. Satan doesn't own those things. All he does is twist what's already there.
I have a theory. So forgive me for interjecting, Jack, because it's not really a question. It's more of a statement. But when you stop me if I'm wrong, but when you're an actor, that requires a certain degree of empathy. Am I right or wrong in that?
No, I don't think all actors have empathy. No, I've met a few people that I don't think have it. I think we were mentioning someone earlier. She
right.
Empathy, but yeah, there's not a whole lot in there. No, I don't think empathy. You don't have to have empathy. But if you're talking about, you do have to have a love for the quote unquote craft, and you have to love entertaining people. There has to be something enjoyable in that, but you don't necessarily have to have empathy. I see where you're going, but
interesting. I totally didn't anticipate that answer, because the way I look at it is like to get into a role, and you know more than I would, but like if you're going to get into a role, it helps to like figure out who the person is that you're portraying. You know what I'm saying? In order to breathe life into you had to see things through their perspective, kind of.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I don't know if I'd call that empathy though. That'd just be study.
Study. Okay. Interesting.
Character, yeah.
Okay. Because to me, I thought it might help to have that study that hopefully would lead to empathy, because that way I think it might help people on their walk to kind of hone that ability to see things through other eyes of other people.
Oh, yeah, it would help. I'm not saying it wouldn't help, but it's not necessarily necessary. At least judging by some of the people I've worked with, they don't appear to have much empathy.
Yeah, it's a great point, Jack. And do you, am I getting it right? In the medieval times, and they have something called morality plays, or there's something
they did, so that the more religious stuff would come out in those, and they're trying to impose their morals, whatever the morals that they've chosen are. Try and impose it on the audience and things like that, and so they could slip messages in there.
Wasn't and now the last, or was it the movie that Mel Gibson produced about Christ? Wasn't that like a sort of a modern take on one of those, or I forget what the exact terminology is for those kind of plays?
That's a very good example. Yeah, that would be, but I'm not sure if it was necessarily like a morality play, but definitely morality being presented. I don't know. Did you feel like there was a message in that particular film where it was overpowering or trying to get you to believe a certain thing, or was it just presenting it?
To me, I felt like it was just presenting it.
Right. Me too.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on. So now, if we can shift gears here, let's go to some of the darker aspects of Hollywood, even though we've already kind of touched on it. What can you tell us that we don't know about the Illuminati in Hollywood? What have you seen that you can reveal?
That I can reveal? Let's see. I would say I can reveal that everything isn't as it appears, and that there are people, in fact, that higher upper echelon of people that are really in charge of things. And it doesn't really matter, different movie companies or not, there are still people that are pulling the strings. That's something I can reveal. And whatever they say goes. And they're trying to put a certain message on there. There's a certain element of mockery that they employ, where they're presenting truth in plain sight, and they are laughing at the audience by presenting some of these things right in their face, and they don't pick up on it. What people pick up on, quote unquote Christians, they respond to nudity or language or violence, and what's happening underneath everything is way more insidious than that. It's a message of worshiping other gods, and it's a worshiping of the Dark One himself, Lucifer, which the Illuminati definitely they put him in an idol worshiping situation for sure, and that's being presented all the time without people even knowing it.
Okay, what is your knowledge of Satanism in Hollywood?
There's plenty of it. I personally don't get involved in that, and that would be confusing to a lot of people, because I've heard people say that every actor in Hollywood worships Satan, and that's just not true. I'm blessed by where my career has taken me without all the Satan worship and all that, and maybe it's rare. If you get to a certain point, like you referred to me as an A-list actor, which I'm very appreciative of that. I don't consider myself that at all, but even being a B-list actor, which is kind of where I think I fit, and maybe I'm just being humble. I don't know. I try to be as much as I can, Mike. try to be humble. But what was the question? Oh yeah, as far as Yeah, I lost my train of thought, Mike. Help me out.
That's okay. We'll move on anyway, Jack. But you answered the question. It was about Satanism in Hollywood, and you did a great job explaining it. Thank you, by the way, Jack.
Thank you, Mike.
Well, it's refreshing how down to earth you are. I kind of honestly, I really appreciate you coming on here at all because I know you have a busy acting career. But
I went and looked at your channel and stuff, and I hope you decide to do more videos, and especially the ones where you have music involved or where you're cutting up a little bit.
Oh, thanks, Jack. Appreciate it. That's very kind of you to say.
You're a funny guy, Mike.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, why is Jack Woodman? Why is Hollywood named Hollywood?
Well, there's two different stories. One is because the area in which Hollywood is located, there's the holly tree, and there's a lot of those out there. And originally, you may know this, it was called Hollywood Land. It wasn't just a Hollywood sign. It said Hollywood Land. Do you remember that?
I remember watching a video about that. That's how it started out, right? Originally.
Yeah, that's how it started out. And then there was an earthquake which broke the sign, and they took the other words down, took the land down, and just had it say Hollywood.
Huh, interesting. I heard that like the holly was a kind of wood that they use for magic wands or something like that as well.
Yeah, that's the other idea, is that what some people think we're doing as actors is we're casting a spell. It's what you referred to earlier as far as a craft is concerned, right? So the Hollywood was used for magic wands, and so the in essence Hollywood would be like using a magic wand to cast a spell on people. It comes up in Disney too. When you see Tinkerbell come at the beginning of all the Disney movies, and Tinkerbell comes out and she's got that wand and she hits the top of the word Disney, and it lights up and sparks fly everywhere. Yeah, she's casting a spell on the children.
You know what's weird is I never even realized it before. Even after watching all this stuff, you're right. I don't know why I wasn't able to see that before, but it always begins that way, doesn't it? Like with a spell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so let's switch gears, Jack. Tell us a bit about your new character that you're working on. I believe your new character's name is Jason Cripps. I believe that's how I introduced you, because I know I assumed you were a method actor, so I assumed you were coming in as sort of Jason Cripps' personality. But can you tell us what your motivation is for this new character, and what people were the inspiration for creating Jason Cripps? Like, who is Jason Cripps? Is that like a friend you knew, or is he a compilation of people you knew, or can you explain that character?
Yeah, I haven't met him. He's not a friend of mine necessarily, but I hope we can be friends. But someone called me and told me there was this guy on YouTube that sounded like me, and I'm like a little incredulous on that. I feel like I only sound like myself. Nobody sounds like me, but. I went to YouTube and listened to one of the broadcasts, and I thought that there were some similarities there. I don't think he sounds exactly like me, but enough. And I thought it'd be interesting to do a movie of some sort about a YouTube channel, someone that had a YouTube channel, and get into their heads. What makes up their life. What are they like? And so it's kind of started from there.
Oh, interesting. So, interesting. See, what I thought was that because you chose the name Jason Cripps, I thought, well, maybe it was like Jason was from like a movie, so like Friday the 13th, and Cripps like the Crypt Keeper. So I thought it was like a horror movie or something, right?
It could be. We could turn it into a horror movie for sure.
Right. Maybe then I thought, well, if it's a nod to the Argonauts, like Jason the Argonauts, the Greek
Jason
legend.
the Argonauts. Yeah, I remember that show when I was a kid. Absolutely.
Have you ever seen the claymation version of that, or the stop motion?
I have, Mike.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, I have.
What's that guy's name? I forget who does that. The stop motion.
Wow, that's a great question. I don't remember the name of the guy.
Like Ray Harryhausen, I think.
Oh, you know it. You know it then.
Yeah, it took me a second, and it kind of came to me. But, so yeah, like Homer and the Odyssey and all that. So that helped us to take us into the inner creative process and machinations of a thespian. It worked, Jack. Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so Yeah, so I'm gonna make sure I clarify this. So the Jason Cripps channel, on what's the name of that YouTube channel?
True Story Live, I believe.
True Story Live. Okay, do you recommend that everyone go take a listen to True Story Live so they can?
Oh, sure. I've listened to several of the shows just to get an idea of the character of Jason Cripps, and I like I said, I'm not a method actor, but I may even sound a little bit like him already. I think my voice is a little more raspy than his, but I'm working on that. I used to be a smoker, so I've got a little bit of that raspy quality to my voice. Where his voice is a little bit smoother generally.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, for sure. I agree. Jason Cripps' voice, if it probably would be. I'll have to go check out that channel. You want to do is I'll put the link in for if you recommend True Story Live. I'll definitely put that into the chat when we get ready to take questions from the audience.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, thank you. I'm sure Jason Cripps would appreciate that.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Hopefully he appreciates it because he's not you. So, right.
Yeah, he's not. Even though I'm going to try to, play him.
So if anything, I know you guys sound alike, but at least you're giving him a shout out, Jack.
Shout out, Jason Cripps, True Story.
Jason Cripps, True Story Live. So we got to check that out. So some of this stuff we've already gone to. I had some pre-made questions, but I think we're going to skip some of this stuff because we've already gone over it. Okay, so here, let's talk about this. I have heard rumors that you were considering backing a production of Citizen Kane on ice. Are those rumors true?
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic idea. Now, have you seen Citizen Kane, Mike?
Yeah, I've seen Citizen Kane multiple times.
Rosebud. I'm giving away the ending. Rosebud.
Right, Rosebud. Absolutely.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, exactly. But they'd have to get the context anyway from watching it.
That's true. They'd have to watch it. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Okay, why on ice? Why are you making an ice skating event out of Citizen Kane?
Have you ever been to see one of these ice productions?
No, never.
Well, you've had to have seen one on TV, right? Aren't they mesmerizing?
It is definitely. It's like two beautiful disciplines put into one because one, like just an ice skater alone, there's so much work that goes into that. I think there's a certain beauty in that when someone sacrificed so much time to hone their ability to do something, even if it's just even if it's not a quote unquote art, but like for example, woodworking or something. There's a beauty to that with the time involved. I played football and stuff and all that, but I'm not as anywhere near. I don't have the physical capability of doing some of the ice skating things. But yeah, the idea of Citizen Kane being on ice, I just can't think of a better way to pay homage to the original story, but to also have the beauty of ice skating involved. Now, is there some kind of metaphor in that? Like, because I know I don't want to give away too much, but there was a sled, I think, involved with Citizen Kane. So that has something to do with the sled?
Yes, it absolutely has everything to do with the sled.
Interesting.
Yeah. Rosebud.
Okay, got it. So everyone out there is listening. Be on the lookout for that Citizen Kane on ice. It's going to be amazing. And then,
and before we move on, the guy gets real close to the mic and like this, like really close, and says Rosebud.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome, Jack.
Yeah,
I can't wait for that. All right, another question is: I've also heard from a very reliable source that's close to you that you're going to remake a version of War of the Worlds as a musical. Is that true? Can you tell me anything about that?
Oh, sure. Again, a classic Orson Welles broadcast. Now, I'm sure I'm not telling you anything you don't already know, but originally that people missed the beginning of that broadcast where they said that it was a radio broadcast. So they came in on it after the fact and didn't hear that it wasn't real. And people actually killed themselves because they thought that we were being invaded by aliens from another planet. So that puts a little context to why we would do a musical about it. We want to make it fun. We don't want to remember the suicides that happened during the original broadcast. We want to, put a lighter side to being invaded by aliens from another planet.
Right.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
light side of that, right?
Yeah, we want to make it light, yeah, like we're here, we're going to take things over, but let's go into a song.
Right. So
Yeah.
so it's sort of like a funner version of the alien deception, right?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And we're trying to get people ready for what's coming, too. So
Sure, sure.
there's several meanings there.
Got it. Okay. And then one last question I have about upcoming projects you're working on.
Mhm.
So Jack Woodman, is it true that you are also playing an anime version of The Godfather?
Yes, I love anime, right? Who doesn't love anime?
Guilty as charged.
Yeah, V for Vendetta, the anime version. I mean, there's so many different movies out there. And it's just fascinating the artistry of anime, and to do a Godfather with all the blood and all the gore and violence that comes from the Godfather and have it be an anime. Good stuff.
Good. Okay. Good to know, Jack. So what can you tell me about film and television being used to program viewers by lulling them into an alpha state?
Well, I don't know much about the alpha state, but it is definitely to get them into a place of being suggestive. Is that what alpha state means to you, Mike?
Is it absolutely what it means to me?
Yeah. So they get you lulled into that place where they can then program you with messages, whether it be an like a box of cereal on the set, for instance, or someone's drinking a can of Pepsi, and they show the logo, and this is they do that on purpose. In a movie, you never see a product that the title of it, or if it's Pepsi or Budweiser or whatever, it's they make sure to point it toward the screen if they're an advertiser, so you can actually see the brand.
Interesting. So that's like a very subtle.
Yeah, and then it is subtle, and in that alpha state, you just see it as someone drinking a Pepsi on stage. You don't see it. The message is by Pepsi, or a car, for instance, if they're presenting a BMW in a scene. They constantly show the emblem of the car to get it in the minds if someone's in the alpha state. So they're thinking, oh, BMW, and they would go buy a BMW. Hopefully, that's what the makers of the film hope when they're doing an advertising that way. If a blockbuster movie comes out and BMW was one of the major advertisers, and after that they get a rash of BMW sales, then the next movie they come out with, BMW is going to be willing to pay more. Again, with that, the lulling people into the alpha state in order to buy more products.
That's I can see that too. Like sometimes I'll see like mingled things where, like, say, like different companies are linked to movies. Like Burger King might come out with a toy or something that's linked to the movie. Maybe there's Burger King in the movie.
So they've done that for years. Especially with kids' movies, where McDonald's will have the Happy Meal come with toys from the movie that's out at the time.
Where's your action figure? Do you have any action figures out yet, Jack?
I not that I'm aware of. If I do, no one's told me about it. For some of the shows that I've been, usually I'm not the main actor. I have had a couple movies, a couple of not blockbusters where I was the main actor. But generally, like I said, I consider myself more of a B actor rather than A.
What about say your alter ego, Jason Cripps? Should Jason Cripps have his own action figure?
He should. It should be this figure that you pull a string on the back, and he just says stuff in that really smooth, monotone voice that sounds like he should be on NPR.
Right. Okay. So what would his line be, Jack? What would Jason Cripps' line be if you pull the string?
Oh, well, the first thing I've heard is he starts every show the same way. It's like Sunday, 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 he says. So it would be that.
Right.
You pull the string and he goes, Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
I've got to watch that show now because I would totally buy that action figure.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Okay, if there was one thing you wanted, this is our last. Was this the last question? We're all. By the way, chat room, get ready because I'm going to take your questions for Jack in just a minute here.
We're taking questions.
We're going to take some questions. Okay, so get ready for some spitballs there, Jack.
I don't think anybody has any questions for me. That's okay.
If there was one thing you wanted people to know about Hollywood, what would it be?
Just be careful, and if you want to be an actor, don't.
That's a good advice.
Stay away from it, because if you get pulled back in, to use a line from The Godfather, they keep pulling you back in.
Okay. One last question before we go to the chat room. I apologize for anybody if I haven't seen, so I'm not sure if anyone's waiting or not. But if you are, I apologize. But I believe that the only way to be saved is through Jesus Christ. And I think the main purpose of the programming in Hollywood, in my opinion, Jack, is to influence people to denounce the truth of the gospel. What are your thoughts on that, Jack Woodman?
Well, I agree with you, Mike, but I would also add to that what they're trying to do is not so upfront as that. They're actually trying to take the allegiance that someone might have toward the gospel and toward Jesus Christ and put it toward Lucifer.
Welcome to the Nut House. Oh, look what we got here. Hey, John Goodman, everybody. John Goodman.
Oh, what's up, John Goodman?
Hey, guys.
Hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you. It's great to be here. I'll be here again, actually.
Yeah, this is the second time, John.
Hey, Peanut.
God. Hey, I'm doing good, man. How are you doing, John?
No, I'm doing great. Just having a nice little night with my wife, celebrating the New Year's,
Oh, that's so cool. And thanks for by the way, for taking the time off. I know you and your wife want to spend time together. But you know what? So you guys taking the time to spend time with me, I think that's amazing. And a lot of people in here are like that. So I really appreciate you doing that, John.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I had so much fun last time,
Hello,
Good.
Mr. Goodman.
Happy New Year, John.
Happy New Year to you. This is Holly.
Yeah, that's Holly up there. And Seller to the left was saying hello to you as well.
Hey, Cellar door 33.
Right, exactly.
Nice.
And then
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year's, John. Happy New Year's. And then to the left of you is Allie. Allie, it's John Goodman.
Wow. Hey, Allie.
Such
Got a lot of people.
Introduction.
I know, right? Dun, dun, dun. And then
you could call me John.
Just call you John? Okay.
Yeah, John. John's fine.
Can we call you Johnny?
If you want to. Nobody calls me Johnny.
Mr. Goodman.
Mr. Goodman. Presidente.
No, nobody calls me Mr.
No,
Goodman.
President.
So you've done like movies and stuff before, right?
What's that?
Like you've been in movies, like you've shot on movies, like an actual production set, right?
Sure, yeah.
What do you?
I did not know that about you. So I think we just learned something. Okay, I got some questions for you, John. Okay, can you tell us a bit about how you prepare for your roles?
Yeah, you asked this question on the last show, so it's not much different than it's not much different than.
Let's freshen it up.
All right,
I know a lot of my actor friends. They really immerse themselves in the role. I just look at the script. I read the script a lot, and then when they tell me to stand, show me where to stand, and I deliver the lines. And the most prep I did was the Big Lebowski. That one. I did more preparation on that one than any other one. That was one of my favorite roles.
I don't mean to be rude. Peanut, is this really John, the actor? Or an impersonator?
I don't. Why do you think, Holly? Impersonator. My gosh,
I thought John Goodman was dead. Honestly.
Oh.
The rumors of my death are seriously exaggerated.
Yes.
What is that called? The Mandela effect.
You want a toe? I can get you a toe.
Pain.
You're-
No, really, are you the actor or an impersonator? Because you're doing a very good job. You've got me fooled.
I
Like,
am.
what are you doing? Okay, if you're the famous actor, what are you doing hanging out at the Nut House?
I've known Peanut for a long time, and we became friends. And occasionally he asked me to drop in, and if I'm not doing anything, and my wife went to bed, you know, we watched the ball drop, and she went to bed. So fuck it, dude. Let's go bowling.
Right. Get your
You
gun,
watch
Scotty.
Blue
Let's
Ball
do
drop.
it.
But
Get
seriously,
your
though,
gun and your ball.
right now the other John that everyone claims died, could that have been one of your clones? I heard like a lot of one Hollywood.
Oh, don't get me started on the clones. Yeah, I've actually, I feel like I've been on the set with people that I've done other roles with later, and I swear they're clones. They're not the same. They're not the same people anymore.
Well, how can you tell? What's different about them?
Just their personality is different. It's little things, little nuances. When you get to know someone on the set, you're doing filming for months and months together, and your trailer is right next to their trailer, so you spend time while you're waiting on your shot to come up.
You
And
spent a lot of time in Roseanne's trailer.
no.
Oh, okay.
Roseanne and I didn't really get along. I mean, we did what we needed to do. You show up, you stand where they tell you to stand, you do the lines, and
Good job.
Yeah, I did enjoy doing the comedy. That's one of my favorite things to do is comedy. And so, I mean, it was a pleasure to be on the show, and I had a lot of good friends, especially off set, But she was a hard person to get along with.
I find
Imagine that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think she's mellowed out with age, but back then when she was she was at the top, she let it get to her head.
Happens to the best of us, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now since we're on the subject, though, is there any chance of you doing a Roseanne reunion movie for the big screen?
Hey, if they invite me to come, of course, I would say yes to that. Sure.
Okay, and then after we're done, we're going to open up for all the audience to ask you questions too, if you don't mind.
Sorry.
No, you can go ahead.
Can I have your autograph and a picture with you? Like, you're the first actor I've met from Hollywood. I just don't know what to say. Can I have your autograph?
Sure.
Cool. All right, Peanut, you better hook that up.
I will. No worries. All right. And then, all right, John.
Take a screenshot.
Have you spent much time at the Hollywood Center for Scientology, the Celebrity Center?
Oh, good
that is a good question. No, I did get the invite. I met Tom Cruise at a director's dinner party, and he's an interesting guy. He uses his hands a lot. He's very animated, and I swear he could sell ice to an Eskimo. I mean, he's got that kind of personality. But no, I don't go in for the Scientology stuff.
I think you'd make him scared not to buy the ice cream.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, John, who is your acting heroes and why?
I like Richard Burton.
Okay.
When I was a kid, I used to watch Richard Burton movies. He's got a real deep voice, real macho guy.
Kind of like you. You've got a very deep voice too, John.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I can see why you're drawn to someone similar to yourself.
I'm really sorry to test you when you first came on here, John. I apologize. I really did not mean to be rude to you, sir.
Oh, you weren't rude? No, you weren't rude to me. It's no problem. No problem at all.
Okay, and you guys have questions, everyone on the panel, just go ahead and jump in if you guys have a question for John. Is that okay, John?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Thanks for being a good sport about the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, what film are you most proud of that you've done, and why?
The Big Lebowski, because it gave me an opportunity to play a different kind of role, a role I never played for. He's a Vietnam vet, and he loves bowling. He's very, very serious about the game of bowling, obviously. And it was fun. I never took any bowling lessons. I've just always been a bowler, and so I got a chance to do two things I like. Playing a different role and knocking the pins down. In between takes, we would just throw some balls around, and it was a lot of fun on that set.
I'm sorry. Did you say throwing some balls around?
Throwing some balls around, yeah.
It
What I heard.
theme of tonight, because we're all kind of like watching balls drop. So balls, seems to be the overlying.
Oh, there's another one getting ready to drop in 3 minutes.
Yeah, got 3 minutes until the balls drop over here in Missouri.
Yeah, all right. John, I know you were. I really appreciate your time, but you got a couple minutes for us to watch the balls drop really quick.
Oh yeah.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw! All right. I know, right? That was confusing. The time kept changing. I know. It's like just like AI glitch or something. Okay. All right. Got some more questions here.
Hey.
All right. Tell us about what film you're most ashamed of and why.
Wow. That's a great question. What film am I ashamed? I don't know if I'm ashamed of any film.
Got anything on Pornhub?
No.
Okay, I'm just saying. Some people do.
That's nice.
Didn't you do some stag films back in college or something, John?
Oh no.
All right. Okay, so all right. A lot of people want to know more about the Illuminati in Hollywood. We spoke about this the last time, but what would you like to share about this for anyone who might have missed that first interview?
Dun 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 dun.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, I can't really share anything about the Illuminati.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I would not either. I would not want to have any of them Rockefeller at all. No, I wouldn't talk about them either.
Probably, to answer the last question, probably King Ralph would have been my least favorite. I had to think about it. I've been in a lot of movies, but I wouldn't say I'm ashamed of it, but
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah, that wasn't one of my favorites either. Like, I think most people would choose The Big Lebowski as their favorite film too, right?
And Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? That was
you're good.
that was a fun one.
That was a great movie.
You got to hit people with a branch in that one, or make it look like I was at least.
Oh boy, I hope you took him out real good.
Okay, AJ.
The most controversial one I was in is Red State. That was directed by Kevin Smith. Did you guys see that?
Oh, is that the remake?
No, it was kind of a post-apocalyptic kind of
That one.
the rapture was coming. There was a cult involved, and there's a lot of truth in plain sight in that movie.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
What about John? What about when you did Cloverfield?
Oh, I loved Cloverfield. 10
Always
Cloverfield Lane. Yeah, that was a good one.
There,
Mary Elizabeth Winstead. She was great to work with. She's an up-and-coming actress. She's getting a lot of work now.
She's getting a lot of work. Oh, okay, right on.
She's getting a lot of work. She's in everything.
It really, yeah, that's interesting. She's a talented actress for
It's
sure.
a good script. It's a good script, and yeah, that was a fun set too. That was
totally
that
sold
one.
that role too. I mean, I totally bought into the fact that she was worried and that she was really in that moment.
Oh yeah. She did a really good job.
What about okay, real quick? I understand you. I know we've already gone over this, but I understand you really went out of your way to be kind and gracious with your presence on a day when you had plans. So thank you so much for being here.
Sure.
Can you tell us about other things that you do for people that other people might be unaware of? I understand you're quite humble when it comes to your charitable work.
Oh my gosh, you're not kissing butt, are you?
I'm trying to earn a points pay here.
All right.
I'm totally brown. All right, but I'm not ashamed of it. I'm owning this shit.
We're getting together to watch the balls drop.
Oh, the best.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's all about the balls dropping tonight. It's not about me.
Right, and playing with the balls in the Big Lebowski.
Big
right?
Lebowski. It's my
It's like,
favorite. It's my favorite act.
Evening.
My favorite acting role ever.
Yeah,
I
me
love
too.
you.
Oh, it's a pleasure, man. You got some good friends, Peanut.
I do absolutely.
You got some really, really kind people there on the show with you tonight.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
But here walking a dog.
But you guys don't drop off the line though, because we're gonna do some acting with John here in a minute. I got a script for us to do.
I'm scared.
Don't be scared. You're fine. Okay, so I got a couple of things I want to get off. No right or wrong answer, no judgments. But I'm gonna put you on the spot here, John.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on flat Earth?
Well, nobody has seen it, and I don't believe the moon landing happened. And I know that's going to shock a lot of people, but I believe it was shot on a film stage. And I believe Stanley Kubrick is the one that did that.
Oh yeah.
And
John, I like you a lot.
yeah, I just don't believe that. The Bible says that he put a firmament over, and it's not a mist, it's not a vapor, it's not atmosphere. I believe it's an actual. I believe we're in a snow globe.
Yep.
Well, it's freaking snowing over here. Can you take it away on the other?
I know, right?
Can we shake it the other way right now? I'm over it.
Yeah, shake it away.
No, don't do that. Keep that snow up there, Audrey. I don't want it down here where I'm at.
It's not actually flat. I mean, obviously there are mountains and whatnot, but I would consider myself a geocentrist, which means instead of orbiting around the sun, God made the Earth the center of the universe.
Okay.
I've never done a sci-fi film.
I didn't know. Well, Cloverfield is kind of sci-fi.
Which one's that?
Cloverfield.
I mean, in space.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah, you have no like Star Wars or
Right.
like that.
Now, I was a big Star Wars. I love the Star Wars. If you ever asked me to play a role in that, I would have. Well, there were Spaceballs. I forgot about Spaceballs.
It's going to be working for Disney,
Oh yeah.
and the Illuminati question would be answered, wouldn't it?
Radar is jammed. It's strawberry.
Oh, yeah. Only one person uses the raspberry. Boom star. You're right, Garby. Real quick, so I don't want to take up too much of your time, but okay. Of all the movies in time, which one do you wish you would have played instead of the actor who took the role? Like, what's a movie that really meaty? You're like, you know what, that should have been my part.
Wow, that's a good question. I think it would have been fun to do the Die Hard movies. I know I'm a big guy, but I've lost a lot of weight recently. So if I was at my current weight, I probably could have pulled it off. So I would say Die Hard.
Die Hard. Oh yeah, I love the Die Hard.
You think I could pull it off, Peanut?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I think you could. If you lost more weight.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Huh?
Yeah, you could do it. I'm not sure. Like, honestly, John, at your top weight, I don't think you could. But like, if you on the road you're on now, yeah, I think you'd be amazing. You know what I'm saying? I think you would.
Yeah, I'm too old. I'm 69 years old now, so I don't know if I could. But if I was at this weight back then, I think I could have pulled it off.
Uh-huh.
Okay, what
great lines? They gave him great lines in that one, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
the first one. That's a Christmas movie.
Oh, good point. Good kind of. A lot of those are actually. Why does Hollywood make so many movies that they're set around this time of year?
It's a popular time of year.
Yeah.
A lot of people go to movies. People that don't go to movies all year, they go to movies around the Christmas season. They make a lot of money. A lot of ticket cash around Christmas. The movie I was in, Monuments Men, that had some scenes in it with Christmas. You guys see the Monument Men?
No, I missed that one.
No, I'm gonna watch it now though. I heard it was.
I know, right?
I'm all good. He sent me the script, and I've got my script ready to go over here. Now we haven't. This is going to be a cold read. We haven't practiced this.